On the video I did about dyeing my beard using the Just for Men, I received many comments from guys who were allergic to most dyes but still wanted to darken their beards. So I set out to find an alternative, and that alternative was Naturcolor. Naturcolor is made almost completely of plants, and on all of the reviews for it I found, people said that this was the only dye they were not allergic to. Best of all, it works for beards. I went ahead and went with the Cola color because most reviewers said to go with a slightly darker color. From my experience though, this is not the case. Go with your actual hair color. So here's what my beard looked like before darkening it. Inside the box you'll find the gel developer, the coloring, a couple samples, the instructions, gloves, and a mixing bottle. Now we'll mix the dye together. We'll be using only what we need, so we'll get close to 6 uses out of the box. Pour 10 milliliters of the gel developer into the mixing bottle, then pour 10 milliliters of the color into the mixing bottle. You could tell that this dye was much different from others, as it hardly had any smell. Next, shake up the mixture. At first it won't appear very dark, but after a few minutes it begins to darken up. So I started to apply the dye like the instructions said, by putting on the gloves and applying it to the hair and then rubbing it in. You'll want to make sure that you're applying it so that it doesn't run. I soon found out this wasn't a very effective way, and I tried a different way. I put the dye into a container and then used a brush to paint it onto my beard. This way worked much better. Here's what my beard looked like after the dye had been applied. I had some extra, so I figured I'd go ahead and try it out on my hair. I'm about to shave my head anyway, so I thought, what the heck. Now we wait. The directions said to wait for 25 minutes. I only waited 15 because I could tell that this was going to be a little darker than I anticipated. So I jumped in the shower and washed it out with normal shampoo. And here are the final results. Overall, I'm just as happy with this dye as I was for the Just for Men. It was a little darker than I was looking for, but that was only because I got the wrong color. There was no burning or tingling with this dye, and it hardly had any smell. You could definitely tell that this was not very harsh, yet it was super effective. As for my gray hairs, they were completely gone. I'll put the link below to the same dye I used, but be sure to make sure you find your correct color.